In 1908, a young journalist was given an assignment that would change the course of human history. He was 25 years old. He had nothing. No money, no reputation, no reason to believe that what was about to happen would matter at all. His assignment was simple. Interview Andrew Carnegie, the richest man in the world. That interview was supposed to last 3 hours. It lasted 3 days. Because Andrew Carnegie saw something in that young man, something rare, a burning desire to understand not just how wealth was built, but why, the deeper laws, the invisible principles, the things that separated the people who achieved everything from the people who spent their whole lives wanting it. Carnegie made him an offer. I will open every door. I will introduce you to the most successful men alive. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Theodore Roosevelt, John D. Rockefeller. I will give you access that no journalist has ever had. But I will not pay you a single dollar. And the young man had 60 seconds to decide. He said yes. 20 years later, after interviewing over 500 of the most successful human beings who had ever lived, that young journalist published what would become one of the most influential books ever written. His name was Napoleon Hill, and what he discovered in those 20 years, what he extracted from the minds of the greatest achievers in history, came down to one principle, one master principle that almost nobody fully understands, and even fewer actually master. But the ones who do, their lives change completely, permanently. At the root, today we are going to talk about that principle, what it really means, why it works, and most importantly, how you begin to master it starting today. Stay with me, because this is not motivational content. This is the architecture of human achievement, and it has been waiting for you. Napoleon Hill spent 2 decades looking for a pattern. He was not interested in tactics, not interested in industry secrets or lucky breaks or being in the right place at the right time. He was looking for the thing underneath all of that, the common thread that ran through every great life, every great achievement, every person who started with nothing and built something the world could not ignore. And after 500 interviews, after 20 years of obsessive study, he found it. He called it the master secret. And when he finally revealed it, people were surprised, because it was not complicated. It was not technical. It was not something you needed money or connections or education to access. It was a state of mind. Specifically, it was this: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. 9 words, carved into the foundation of every great life ever lived. And before you dismiss that as a motivational poster slogan, I want you to understand what Napoleon Hill actually meant. Because most people hear those words and think he was talking about positive thinking, about vision boards, about wishing hard enough for things to appear. He was not. He was talking about something far more precise, far more powerful, and far more demanding than anything a vision board has ever asked of you. He was talking about the complete alignment of your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your emotions, your actions, and your belief. All of them pointed in the same direction with the same intensity toward the same definite purpose. That alignment, that total internal coherence, that is what he called the master secret. And that is what we are going to break down today, piece by piece, until you understand not just what it means, but how to actually live it. Napoleon Hill identified something he called a definite chief aim. Not a goal, not a dream, not a wish list, a definite chief aim. And the word definite is doing all the work in that phrase. Most people have vague desires. I want to be successful. I want to have more money. I want to be happy. I want things to be different than they are. Vague desires produce vague results, which usually means no results at all. Because your brain is not designed to pursue something it cannot clearly see. Your subconscious mind cannot work toward a destination that has no address. Your energy cannot flow in a direction that has not been defined. Vagueness is not humility. It is not keeping your options open. It is not being realistic. Vagueness is the single most effective way to ensure that nothing changes. Napoleon Hill studied 500 people who changed everything, and every single one of them had one thing in common before they achieved anything. They knew exactly what they wanted, not approximately, not generally, exactly. The amount, the timeline, what they were willing to give in exchange for it, how they would know when they had it, written down, specific, definite. Henry Ford did not want to be successful in business. He wanted to build a car that every working family in America could afford, and he could describe that car in specific detail before he built a single one. Thomas Edison did not want to be a great inventor. He wanted to harness electricity and bring light into every home. He could see it, feel it, describe it in exact terms. Andrew Carnegie did not want to be wealthy. He wanted to build the largest steel empire in the world and then give his fortune away systematically to benefit humanity. Definite, specific, burning. So here is the question you need to sit with. What is your definite chief aim? Not what you would like to have someday. Not what would be nice if things worked out. What is the one thing you are willing to organize your entire life around pursuing? If you cannot answer that in one clear sentence, that is where the work begins. Because Napoleon Hill was emphatic about this. Nothing happens without definiteness of purpose. Nothing. Not effort. Not talent. Not intelligence. Without a clear target. Everything you do is just movement. And movement is not the same as progress. Now here is where Napoleon Hill goes somewhere most people are not ready to follow. He said desire was not enough. He said goal setting was not enough. He said positive thinking was not enough. He said the single most important factor in achievement was something he called burning desire. Not regular desire, not wanting something, not even wanting it badly. Burning, the kind of desire that consumes your thoughts when you wake up, that is still there when you lie down at night. That makes the sacrifice feel worth it before the reward has arrived. That turns obstacles into detours instead of dead ends. The kind of desire that is so strong, quitting never feels like a real option. Not because quitting is impossible, but because the desire makes it unthinkable. And here is what Napoleon Hill observed in every single person he studied. This burning desire always came before the achievement, not after, before. The desire was not the reward for success. The desire was the fuel that produced it. Which means the question is not how do I get more motivated after I start seeing results? The question is how do I cultivate a desire so strong that results are inevitable? Hill said the answer was this. You must want your goal the same way a drowning man wants air. Not as a preference, not as a priority, as a necessity. When breathing is not optional, you do not need motivation to keep breathing. You do not need discipline. You do not need a morning routine, or an accountability partner, or a vision board. You just breathe. Because the alternative is unacceptable. That is the relationship Napoleon Hill said you must build with your definite chief aim. Not I want this. Not I am working toward this. Not I hope to achieve this someday. I must. I will. There is no other outcome I am willing to accept. That shift. From wanting to burning, from hoping to deciding, that is where the real journey begins. Napoleon Hill discovered something about the subconscious mind that modern neuroscience is only now beginning to confirm. He called it autosuggestion, and it is one of the most practical and powerful tools in his entire philosophy. Here is the principle. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between something that is vividly imagined and something that is real. Read that again. It does not know the difference. When you repeatedly feed your subconscious a clear, vivid, emotionally charged image of your goal as if it has already been achieved, your subconscious begins to treat that image as reality. And it starts reorganizing your thoughts, your perceptions, your behavior, your instincts, everything, to close the gap between where you are and what it now believes is your reality. This is not magic. This is neuroscience. The brain is a pattern recognition and pattern completion machine. Give it a clear pattern to complete, and it will find paths toward that completion that your conscious mind would never discover on its own. Napoleon Hill told every person he coached to do one specific practice. Write down your definite chief aim in clear, specific terms. Include a deadline. Include what you are willing to give in exchange. Then read it aloud. Twice a day, every day, morning and night, with full emotional conviction, as if it is already done, not as a wish, as a statement of fact about your future. And here is the part most people skip. The emotion is not decorative. The emotion is the mechanism. Your subconscious is not moved by words. It is moved by feeling. The stronger the feeling attached to the image, the deeper it embeds in your subconscious. The more powerfully it redirects your entire psychology toward making that image real. This is what Hill meant when he said, conceive and believe. Conceive it clearly. Believe it emotionally. And your subconscious will begin working on achievement around the clock. Without your conscious supervision, without effort, without forcing, like a plant that grows toward light without anyone telling it to. Your mind will grow toward the image it holds most vividly, most consistently, most emotionally. You get to choose that image. Most people let their circumstances choose it for them. There is one more principle from Napoleon Hill that I need to share with you, because without it, everything else we have talked about remains theory. He called it specialized knowledge combined with organized planning. And here is what he meant. Burning desire without action is fantasy. A clear goal without a plan is just a wish with better branding. Napoleon Hill observed that every person who achieved extraordinary things took one specific kind of action that most people avoid. They built a plan, wrote it down, and started before they felt ready. Not a perfect plan. Hill was emphatic about this. The plan does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be complete. It does not have to guarantee success. It just has to begin. Because here is what he understood about plans that most people do not. The plan you start with is almost never the plan that succeeds. The first plan is not a blueprint. It is a beginning, a signal to the universe, a declaration to your own subconscious that you are serious. And the moment you take that first imperfect step, something changes. Doors appear that were invisible before. People show up with information you needed. Opportunities arrive that seem like coincidence but feel like something more. Hill called this infinite intelligence. Others call it synchronicity. Modern psychology calls it the reticular activating system. The part of your brain that begins noticing everything relevant to your dominant thoughts the moment those thoughts become vivid and consistent enough. You start noticing the book that answers your question. The person at the event who knows exactly who you need to meet. The idea that arrives at 3 a.m. that solves the problem you have been stuck on for months. These things were always there. You just could not see them because your mind was not tuned to that frequency. The plan tunes the frequency. Action broadcasts the signal, and the world begins to respond. I want to bring everything together now. Because Napoleon Hill's philosophy is not a collection of separate ideas. It is one integrated system, and when you see it whole, it becomes something you can actually use. It starts with a definite chief aim, one clear, specific, burning desire that you choose above all others. Written down, known by heart, lived in the present tense before it has arrived. It deepens through autosuggestion. The daily practice of feeding your subconscious the image of your goal until that image becomes more real to your nervous system than the circumstances around you. It accelerates through specialized knowledge, learning what you need to learn, finding the people who know what you need to know, becoming someone who understands their field deeply enough to bring something genuinely valuable to it. It activates through a plan and immediate action. Imperfect, incomplete, but started. Today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, and it sustains through persistence. Hill said persistence was the single most common quality he found in every successful person he ever studied. Not intelligence, not talent, not luck, persistence. The decision to keep going when results are slow, to keep going when people doubt you, to keep going when you doubt yourself, to treat failure not as evidence that you should stop, but as feedback about how to continue. Every person Hill studied had failed. Most of them had failed. Repeatedly, publicly, painfully, in ways that would have broken someone without a burning desire and a definite purpose. But they did not stop, because they could not stop, because the desire would not let them. And eventually, the world ran out of reasons to deny them. That is not inspiration. That is the documented pattern of achievement across 500 of the greatest lives ever studied. And it is available to you right now, exactly as you are, with exactly what you have. I want to leave you with something Napoleon Hill said that has stayed with me. He said the starting point of all achievement is desire. Not action, not planning, not education, not connections, not timing. Desire. Specifically. A desire so clear, so specific, so consuming, that it becomes impossible to ignore, impossible to abandon, impossible to live without pursuing. And here's what I want you to hear underneath those words. You already have that desire. It might be buried under years of disappointment, under the voices of people who told you to be realistic, under the accumulated weight of every attempt that did not work out the way you hoped. But it is there. I promise you it is there. Because you would not still be searching for something to believe in if you had stopped believing. You would not be watching this video if the desire was truly gone. It is not gone. It is waiting. Waiting for you to stop apologizing for it. Stop shrinking it. Stop making it small enough to fit inside what other people think is possible for you. Napoleon Hill spent 20 years learning one thing. The size of your achievement will always match the size of the desire you are willing to claim. So claim it. Write it down tonight. One sentence. Clear. Specific. Bold. This is what I want. This is when I want it. This is what I am willing to give for it. Read it every morning. Read it every night. With conviction, with emotion, as if it is already on its way. And then take one step toward it today. Not the whole journey. One step, because that is how every extraordinary life ever built began. Not with a perfect plan or a lucky break or a moment of genius. With one person, one burning desire, and one step taken before they were ready. Andrew Carnegie saw that in a 25-year-old journalist with nothing in his pocket but a question. And he changed the world by simply opening the door. The door is open. Napoleon Hill walked through it. Now it is your turn.